Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. All right, admitting you have a problem is the first step in finding the solution to the problem. And I am here to admit that I torture my seedlings. And those poor seedlings are my sweet peas right here. These poor things, they have gotten absolutely tortured to within an inch of their life, but they're still going. They're still going strong. So these are sweet peas that I sowed like 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. Honestly, I don't even remember. I tried to find the video of it and I could not find it. That's how bad it is. But basically, I sowed these out with the plans to plant them out with the rest of my cool flowers. So the normal time that I plant out my cool flowers is right around Halloween. So I'm just a little over a month late in getting these guys planted out, but I figured I might as well just keep going with it. They're sweet peas. I mean, they can handle it. They can handle our winters. They're good. So I am planning to get these guys planted out today. You can see these guys have been watered. They've actually been sitting out behind my office because I had planned to plant them out at some other week, and then I got distracted. So these guys have been getting good water. These guys are as dry as a bone, but they're doing okay. Some of them are doing all right. Yes, I'm being optimistic. I have 4 different types of sweet peas. I swear, every year I say I'm going to do really good with my sweet peas this year and really get them going and plant a ton of them, and then come to this time of the year and it's just kind of the last thing on my mind. It's hard to think about sweet peas this early, and when you live in a warm environment like I do, the absolute key for planting sweet peas is you have to plant them in fall. You cannot plant these guys in spring because it gets too hot, too fast, and sweet peas cannot handle too warm of an environment. They're definitely a cool season cut flower. So you can see I have sown these in my bootstrap trays, and thank goodness, because that's what is keeping them organized, because otherwise they would have been a complete mess and I wouldn't have known which varieties. So the cool thing about bootstraps is that look at that. Oh my God. That's really embarrassing. All right. These poor things. The cool thing about bootstrap trays is that there's different colors, and this really helps me keep myself organized so that all I have to do is label one of them with a label, and then I know all my other pink ones are the same variety. So this is the salmon variety of sweet peas. Over here, then I have Wilmot. I also have Albion, and then I have the Kupani that I'm super excited about because these are the classic ones, the really beautiful sweet peas, and these can actually be traced back to the first wild sweet peas that were found on the island of Sicily, and they're named for the monk that found them. So really fun. I have some cool varieties this year, and I need to get them in the ground. So I'm hanging out back here in my cut flower beds right in front of my greenhouse, and that is where I am planning to sow or plant these poor sweet pea seedlings in the 2 back beds, this one here and that one over there right in front of the greenhouse. I was planning to have them grow up the posts, but you can see there's a little bit of space between the posts and the garden beds, and I thought something bigger like a purple hyacinth bean or morning glory or hops or something like that. I don't know. I thought that would look better growing up the posts, and I decided to just put the sweet peas in the middle of these 2 beds and to put some Hortonova netting in between these 2 T-posts. You can see I started putting these 2 T-posts up earlier this morning. So Hortonova netting is a specialized type of netting that's usually used, like farmers usually use it, gardeners will use it, flower farmers will definitely use it. So you can use Hortonova netting horizontally and allow your cut flowers to grow up through the Hortonova netting, the spaces in the Hortonova netting. And what that's going to do is it's going to prevent your cut flowers from flopping over, which can be a problem with cut flowers because they're cut flowers because they have such long stems, but sometimes flowers need a little bit of support. So Hortonova netting is something that's really, really useful for that. Another way that you can orient the Hortonova netting is vertically, like I'm planning to do, and I'm planning to stretch it in between 2 T-posts on either side of the bed. And then that's going to allow the sweet peas or any other type of vining plant to grow up the Hortonova netting. It's really, really useful. What you need when you're planning to do this is you actually need the netting, which I realized this morning as I was trying to film this video that I am all out of Hortanova netting. So I will not be putting the netting up today, but we already put it on order and it's supposed to get here in 2 days. Doesn't matter because these seedlings aren't going to grow that fast anyway. I just have to get the netting up really probably like by January or something, just so that these guys have something to climb up. So for watering and for spacing, I'm going to be using inline emitter tubing, which is this stuff right here. So this stuff connects to your drip system and it basically has an emitter every 6 inches. So what I'm planning to do in these beds is I'm planning to do 2 rows of this pretty close together, just like 3 inches apart from each other. And I'm planning to stagger it. So basically I will have emitters basically 3 inches apart from each other on alternating sides of the netting. I hope that that makes sense. You can plant sweet peas pretty darn close to each other, like about 3 inches away from each other, because they're growing up. They're not growing out. You just need to make sure you have something that they can climb up, like netting or a trellis or something like that. So I will be doing that every 3 inches. I do want to point out, because I'm sure a lot of you are thinking this right now, it is very easy to direct sow sweet peas. It is super easy to direct sow sweet peas. I've done it all the time. Sweet peas are a plant that if you do it in the fall, if you live in a mild enough climate, if you throw sweet peas out into the garden, into some good soil, they will pop up for you next spring, because sweet peas they have kind of a hard shell. It's like a pea, right? And they do need to be soaked a little bit. So when I started these seeds in the bootstrap trays, I did soak them for about, I don't know, overnight, I would say about 12 hours to help them germinate. But if you're going to throw them out into the garden, just go for it. I was trying to be on it. I was trying to be responsible. I was trying to be ahead of schedule, and we could see where that got me. So what I'm going to do now is finish getting these T-posts in. I of course, have to show you guys my Chinese pistache. Isn't that beautiful? I feel like any day now it's just going to drop all its leaves immediately. And then we'll have way more sun over here. So I'm going to finish getting my T-post in. I've already got that one in all the way. And then I got to get 2 more over there. And then I'll know where to lay out my drip tubing. And so again, I'm just going to lay it in 2 rows right there. And then I will plant out my sweet peas. And so relatively easy. I should have done this 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, but that's okay. Better late than never. Okay, so I've got most of the infrastructure done. Obviously, the only thing I'm missing is the most important part, the netting. Actually, I should say the sweet peas are the most important part, but I'm missing the netting. It should get here in 2 days. The other thing that I do want to do is I want to paint these T-posts black. I've been seeing that done. My friend Claudia, who inspired me to do all of the solar lights up here, she paints hers black, so I want to do that as well. I did put the tubing down, and you can see, like, here's an emitter right there. There's an emitter right there. There's an emitter. So they're close, but I think the sweet peas are going to be really happy. And then, of course, the netting is going to be right in between between those just like that. So now all I have to do is transplant these sweet peas, and that should be pretty easy. And then I'll be able to put a check next to this project that's kind of been kind of weighing on me. I knew I needed to get it done, but I just kept putting it off. So this will feel really good to get these in so I don't have to worry about them anymore. Sweet peas, it feels so good to finally get them in. So I put labels right by each post, and basically I did half and half of the beds. So this half is the salmon sweet pea. The far half of this bed is the Wilmot sweet pea. Over here is the Kupani, and then finally we have the Albion. Albion. Did I say that right? Hold on. Let me check. Yes, Albion. Now, since I'm out here in the back garden, there was another thing on my list that I want to get done that is going to take me 2 minutes, so I might as well do it today, and that is to sow my Papaver lilac pom-pom poppies. That is such a mouthful. Basically my bread seed poppies. I got these lilac ones that are these beautiful frilly poppies. They're going to get about 3 feet tall. So with those long stems, I was thinking, I think I'm going to put some Hortonova netting out for those as well. But instead of doing it vertically like I'm doing for the sweet peas, instead I'm going to do it horizontally. So these poppies can grow through the Hortonova netting, and that can support all the stems. And you can start these in cell trays, but I'm going to take the easy route because we all know how I'm doing with seed starting this year. Actually, I'm giving myself too hard of a time. I've already started a whole bunch of seeds and transplanted them out. I just didn't get to my sweet peas. So I'm going to direct sow these. If you live in a mild climate, go ahead and direct sow in the fall. If you live in a cooler climate, you probably want to wait till February, March, April to get these in the ground. keep you all updated on how well the poppies are doing as well as the sweet peas. There's one more thing I do want to show you before I let you go. So it's safe to say I tortured these sweet peas to within an inch of their life, and I do apologize for that. But I'm also not too worried about it because sweet peas are pretty darn resilient, as demonstrated by this sweet pea growing out of my worm bin. So I did have sweet peas growing in this bed last season. I fall sowed them. I just threw the seeds into this bed, and you can see they obviously reseeded themselves and they're growing out of the worm bin right now. So obviously they can handle themselves. They're gonna be fine. So hopefully this video made those of you that didn't quite get to all of their fall sowing feel a little bit better, because I'm right there with you. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.